So if I need to migrate Angular 10 to 15, how we can do that?
We can like do ng update and do from 10 to 11 like one by one update we can do, and then we have to see the packages like what and all are outdated, what and all depreciated, and what and all latest packages we need to update for to support Angular 15. Also we have to like check like the MDN like if there is any breaking changes or not.
Understood. So what are the packages we need to update?
Sorry.
What are the packages we need to update, basically?
Basically, we have to update package.json where we have to change all the Angular versions and all the dependent package version, and maybe Angular JSON file, like maybe
Okay,
compile
understood.
option, all those
So,
things might change.
understood. Understood. What is the difference between forRoot and forChild?
If I'm having this router dot for root, then I'll be defining the constant route for the root level routing at the module level. Then I can define path and load children, and I can load the lazy loaded feature modules. Then I can define the in the module level I can use router dot for child for the child level routing entries. Like one there will be one
Okay, any other
root,
difference?
like one
Mm-hmm.
root level we have to define, and there can be multiple sub child for child.
Understood. Okay, what is the difference between host binding and host listener?
Host binding in Angular, we are binding a properties from the host. Basically we can bind the style and CSS classes from the host. Host listener is like we are listening to the events emitted from the host. So basically by using it host binding click event and on click on mouse over all those events we can listen like on resize. Basically we can listen to
Mhm.
those events from the host listener.
Okay. Let's say we have one search box. In
Mhm.
that search box, when the user type, every typing, we are calling the API. So if the user stops for around 3 or 4 seconds, we need to stop the previous API call and we need to call the new API one. So how you will do that?
Yeah, we can do this we can this form control value changes subscribe to it, then we have to do a debounce time of some buffer time, then we can use a
Mhm.
switch map to cancel the previous subscription and only get the latest response.
Understood. Okay. And if you need to implement the role-based application, like if some user don't have the access to the particular route, so how you will implement that
Yeah, we can
functionality?
protect the routes using route guards. Basically we have to implement a CanActivate route guard. We have to implement a CanActivate route guard. We will implement a CanActivate interface. Basically it has a CanActivate method. Basically if I have a user with a admin and normal user, I want to protect the routes, and I want to only some routes I want to like user with the admin roles can access it, then I can use can activate route guard, and this will check if the user has admin or not, then it will return true. And if this user doesn't have this access, I can redirect to him to some custom page where he it will tell that user you don't have that access to admin page. Basically this returns a boolean true or false. If it is true, then we are now navigating to the route, otherwise we are making navigate to
Mhm.
some other screen.
Okay, understood. So what is module federation?
Module federation is basically it's a concept of micro front end. With module federation, we can use micro front ends in Angular. Basically, I can create many micro front ends in Angular with a different or Angular applications. I can run them in different ports, and later I can combine them into a single application. It is easier to maintain, and also many teams different teams can work with the micro front end.
What is the difference between ng-zone and change detector ref?
Yeah, like in Angular, chain detection is caused by zone.js. Basically, if there is any change in the DOM tree, previous and current values, Angular try to update the view. So basically, it is a dirty check by default. So it is a hampering the Angular application performance. So we can use on push chain detection strategy. So we can like for few places, Angular will update the view basically for input changes, sync pipe, event emissions, and also if I'm calling a API, if I want to update the view, I can explicitly call the change detection ref, and I can do mark for check to update the view. And we have zone.js provides two methods: run inside Angular, run and run outside the Angular zone. Run outside the Angular zone is like basically we can improve the performance by running the, like suppose I can make a API call outside Angular zone where I don't want to update the UI, so I can improve the performance.
So if you need to implement the internationalization in your application, how you will do that?
I can use this translate packages, and basically I can translate has a like function basically like on language change. So if I'm having a toggle button and like if I drop down I can change, this will listen to that on language change. We can listen and we can change our language to the application whichever we want. Like basically we have to have the support, like basically I18 folder we want to have where for different languages what and all we key. If like basically we have to, like in our application, wherever I'm using any hard coded string, I have to replace with some keys basically, and I have to use a translate pipe. So those keys should be coming from API or somewhere. I have to store those basically. For en this should be the value, for different language this should be the value, let's say. So I can use it.
What is the exhaust map?
Basically suppose I'm clicking on a button, and I can prevent the like multiple clicks of prevent. I can prevent those using exhaust map. The exhaust map will not call the new API again unless the previous is completed.
Okay, understood. So if you need to handle the error globally in your application without implementing on the component level, how you will do that?
One is like we can do a global error handling using error handler class, and I can do global error handling. Or if I want to do error handling for API calls, then I can do at interceptor level. It will intercept the, basically it's at injectable services where we have to implement a HTTP interceptor, and it intercept every HTTP request and response. Then I can use a catch error, and I can handle the errors from the APIs, and I can do custom error handling there.
Understood. Have you ever used a SonarQube?
Sonar, yeah, I have you work with SonarQube. Basic.
Okay, so how you will generate the files and reports in that?
Basically, we have added this in like pipeline where whenever we are making a PR, whenever we are creating a PR, SonarQube report will be generated. Basically, it's a vulnerability of a code. It's security vulnerable. All the there is like different category, major, minor, all those. The report it will be generated depending on that. If it is if I'm not using those variables, all those things, it will create some minor code vulnerabilities. And if I'm having a lot of lines in a same function, then code complexity, all those, it will raise a vulnerability. So we have to take care of those to clear the.
Understood.
So can you explain a bit about the NGRX, like how it works?
Yeah, in the NGRX, if you want to handle a large data, we can use NGRX store. We have a state, we can define initial state, and we have reducers and action. So on a click of a button, I can dispatch an action, and reducers are like a pure function. They take state, So on dispatch of action, this way the reducers will take the state, and as states are immutable, so it will create a new updated state. And we have selectors. So if I by using selectors, we can fetch a data from the store. It returns me as an observable, so I can subscribe to the selectors and I can get the data. And we have effects. So if I want to make any API calls, I can do it in effects. Effects are like at injectable services. Like in the constructor, I have to initialize action list. So by doing off type, I can listen to a particular action list. So if I want to trigger this, if I'm creating a login effect on login action, dispatch of action, by doing off type of login action, so I can only call this effect when the login action is triggered. Then in this action I can call my API. So once it is successful, I can have login success action, which will have again reduces to update the state. Login success reduces, failure login failure action we can have.
So what is the difference between Angular 12 and Angular 14?
Yeah, in the latest version we have so we can when we create application, we can enable server side rendering, and we have standalone components in latest version. We can create a dynamic components using view container ref, and we have this defer loading where we can load the elements in the components lazily. And also we have this tree shaking concept in compilation of Angular, where it will remove unused properties or methods while compiling to enhance the performance of application.
Okay. So what is RxJS and what are the operators are available in that?
Yeah, it is a reactive extension JavaScript library. Recently in our application we have created on search box. So whenever we user is typing, we want to call an API and fetch the data and show it in the UI. So we have used debounceTime RxJS operator. It will give a buffer time. We have mentioned as 300 milliseconds. So this will call API after this buffer time, and we have used distinct until changed. So it will user has typed Chetan Naik, after that again Chetan, so duplicates call will not be made. And we have used switch map. So what it will do is it will not call API on every letter, so it will cancel the previous subscription and latest subscription will be called, and we can get the result. Also we have used whenever we are doing a subscription in our Angular application, whenever we are moving out of a component, we want to destroy those subscriptions. So what we have, if we have a lot of one subscription, we can do it using .and unsubscribe in ng on destroy lifecycle loops. If we have multiple subscription, we have created on destroy subject, and we have used the take until operator, and we are passing this destroy subject in take until operator, and when we are calling an API, and we are doing next this destroy subject in the ng on destroy. So take until operator, whenever the empty value is emitted, it will cancel all the previous subscriptions. Also I used retry to hit the API for many times.
Okay, so what is the difference between merge map, concat map and switch map?
In concat map is we can call multiple API in order, result will be that or we can get the ordered output, like the way we are input in the observables, we get the response in the same order. Merge map will not wait for other observable to finish. It will call parallelly and as they come in. Switch map is basically, it will give us the latest result. It will cancel previous subscription and it will give the latest result. Like if we have an API and we want to one more API we want to call, it is dependent on previous API, so we can use the switch map in this scenario.
So just explain me what is closure, so that is more than enough.
Yeah, function with its lexical scope is called closure. So in JavaScript, every function has access to its outer lexical scope. So whenever we call this function in any scope, this still remembers its old previous scope. So we can use this for data encapsulation. Suppose if I am creating one function like counter, and counter variable anyone can access from the outside and he can edit it. but we can make this private using closures. So like set timeout is a closure.
Okay, so what is the difference between public, private, protected?
Yeah, public is like this can be accessed from like in Angular. If I'm doing a public function, this can be accessed from any places. Private is like only in this particular class it can be accessed.
What is union in TypeScript?
Uh, mm, we can when we when we have function, we can define the data types of or, like this or that. We can define the data types using that or symbol. Return type, function, variable type.
What is tuple?
What is
Tuple?
tuple? Sorry,
Yes.
I'm not sure.
What is type in TypeScript?
Yeah, we can whenever we have a function, we can using generics, we can define the data type without any. We can do this generic type t. So we can have this type. So we can specify any type of the data for a function using t, where type t define the data type.
Is query params?
So whenever we are navigating from one route to other route, we can send the data in the routes in the query params.
Okay. And what is interceptor?
Basically, we can intercept the HTTP request and response, whichever HTTP, we can intercept the HTTP request and response. Basically, we can use the interceptor to add the HTTP headers. It's an injectable service, so we can intercept every API call and we can add the headers. Also, we have used the interceptors for spinners. Whenever we want to show API calls being hit, we will show the spinners. And when we get
Okay. Can we create a multiple interceptor in one Angular application?
Yeah, we can create a multiple interceptors. We have to in the intercept, when the providers, whichever the first defined will be called first.
Okay. What is auth guard?
Auth guard, basically we have used CanActivate route guard and can deactivate route guard. Basically we have used in like SCMP admin portals. We only user has an admin role, then only they can go to this route. So to basically protect the route, we use a CanActivate route guard. It's implements a CanActivate interface. The return type of this is like true or false. We can check if the user role is admin, then only we can make him navigate. Otherwise we can navigate to him different screen. Also we have used can deactivate route guards. If I in my application I have a form, if by mistakenly if I'm clicking anywhere it made me to navigate, I can show a pop-up using can in the can deactivate route guard. I can show that if it is yes or no, then only we can navigate.
Okay. What is polyfills?
Polyfills is like browser fallbacks. Like in the JavaScript function should work for all the browsers. We have that CDN put it in the script.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And if I am hovering over the div, okay, and I just want the color should be get changed. Okay. So you have to create a directive for that. Can you write a code for that?
Yeah. This is the code. I'm initializing element ref and renderer. So in the host listener, I have this on hover. I can set the element style.
Okay, and what is pipes? And how many types are pipe available?
Yeah, pipe is basically used to transform the data. It will not actually change the data. We have pure and impure pipe. So pure pipe basically changes whenever the value changes. Impure pipe will changes for every chain detection. So it is basically a dirty check. Impure pipe, we have this async pipe. So without doing all the for observable, we do dot subscribe. All those things we don't have to do. We can do directly use async pipe to subscribe the observables. It is an impure pipe, and we have created also custom pipes like pure pipes. I have created sanitized HTML, DOM HTML pure pipes, which will inject HTML skeleton into the DOM whenever we had a requirement we injecting a skeleton into the DOM. So before.
Okay, what is the difference between absolute and relative
Yeah. By using
in CSS.
by using absolute position, we can move the elements, so but the parent div should be having the position relative. With the positive relative, we can move the child elements by using the position absolute property.